Welcome back. My name is Kaushik and you are watching Kaushik's Everyday English. If you want to make your spoken English fluent, you have to learn some English phrases because these phrases will help you improve your spoken English. And in today's English speaking practice lesson, I am going to teach you some phrases which you can use in your daily conversation. You may belong to any stage of learning English, but I am sure this video will be helpful for everyone, especially for the beginners. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Look at the first phrase, I really appreciate. Now, when you generally want to applaud somebody, you want to appreciate someone, you generally start with this particular phrase. Now, when do you generally appreciate someone? Say, for example, someone has done a very good job and you want to appreciate that person. You generally start with this particular phrase, I really appreciate. Say, for example, I really appreciate your help. Now, somebody has helped you and you want to applaud that person as because he helped you, right? So, you can say, I really appreciate your help, or I really appreciate your effort. That somebody has done a very good job and you are appreciating that effort. Or what I generally say, I really appreciate your willingness to learn English. That you are so eager to learn English, you are working so hard that I really appreciate your willingness to learn English. Follow the next phrase, excuse me. Now this particular phrase can be used in two ways. In the first case, say for example, when you are walking and somebody is just in front of you and you can't move forward, at that time you can say, excuse me. That means you are asking that person to move aside so that you can move forward. Or in the other case, if you want to draw somebody's attention and if you want to ask a question politely, you can use excuse me. For example, excuse me, sir, can you please tell me the time? That is, you are asking the time and you want to ask that question very politely, and at that time you can use excuse me. Or you can say, excuse me, when is the next train? That you are trying to draw somebody's attention to ask the question when the next train is. Let's move on to the next phrase in today's list. I'm sorry. Now this is a very common phrase and we use this phrase when we want to apologize. But you can bring this phrase to the next stage by also adding for. That means by adding the reason that why you feel sorry. For example, I'm sorry for being late. Say for example, you have reached late and you are apologizing for that, and you can say, I'm really sorry for being late. Or I'm sorry I didn't inform you. That you were supposed to inform a person, but by mistake you didn't inform that person, and you say that I truly apologize for that. I'm really sorry. So in this way you can use the phrase I am sorry. Let's move on to the next phrase in today's list. What do you think? Now, when do we generally use this particular phrase? We use this particular phrase, what do you think, when we want to ask somebody's opinion or somebody's suggestion. Say, for example, I don't know which dress to buy. What do you think? That means you are not very sure about a particular dress or which dress you should buy, and so you are asking somebody to help you make the choice. as because you can't make the choice yourself, so you're asking someone to help you make the choice. So in that case, you can use what do you think. Look at the next phrase. That sounds great, or that sounds awesome, or that sounds perfect. Now, when do we use this particular phrase? When we are generally excited by an idea, or when we have liked something very much, we use this particular phrase. I'll show you an example. A. I'm going to cook chicken curry. Would you taste? B. Wow, that sounds delicious, or that sounds great. So somebody is cooking chicken curry and is offering the other person to taste that curry, and this idea to that person, to the other person, really sounds great, and he definitely likes to taste the chicken curry, and in that way he is using that phrase, wow, that sounds delicious, or that sounds great. Look at the next phrase. Oh, never mind. Now you can use this phrase in two different ways. Say for example, you are trying to explain something, but the other person is not willing to understand. He is a little bit arrogant and he is not ready to listen to you, and finally you really get pissed up, and at that time you can say, oh, never mind, just forget it, right? So in this way you can use this particular phrase. Or say for example, you don't want to create a pressure on someone and you just want to forget it, that, oh, just forget it, right? It doesn't matter. In that case also you can use this particular phrase, oh, never mind. So how can you use this particular phrase in a sentence? I'll show you a conversation. Are you going to the market? The other person is saying, no, I don't feel like going. Why? Do you need something? Then the first person is saying, oh, never mind, take rest. So you are asking someone whether he or she is going to the market, but the other person is saying that no, I mean, he's not going or she is not going because the person is not feeling to go to the market. And then when that person again asks you that if you need something, if I need something rather, then I don't want to create pressure on that person, knowing that the person doesn't want to go to the market. So I'm saying, oh, never mind, take rest. That just forget it and take rest. So in this way, you can use this particular phrase, oh, never mind. Let's move on to the next phrase. What do you mean? Now, when do we say this particular phrase, what do you mean? When we can't understand what the other person is saying, right? Say, for example, stop beating around the bush, come to the point. What do you mean? Now, say, for example, a person is telling you that stop beating around the bush. Now, beating around the bush is an English idiom which means that don't beat around the bush, means don't talk unnecessary things, but just come to the point, right? So don't waste time and just come to the point. So that is actually beating around the bush. So somebody is telling you that don't waste time and just come to the point, just tell me what you want to say, and you haven't understood, and then you are saying, what do you mean? That means, what are you trying to say? So what do you mean is that what are you trying to say? So what do you mean? So in this way you can use this particular phrase, what do you mean? Look at the next phrase. Could you please repeat? Now, when do we generally use this particular phrase? When you don't understand, or when you fail to rather hear what the other person is saying, or you fail to understand what the other person is saying, you can use this particular phrase, could you please repeat? And this is a very polite way of asking the other person to repeat what he has already said. So could you please repeat? Or you can say, could you please talk slower? Say, for example, if somebody's rate of speech is too high, right? And you are not understanding what the other person is saying. So you can ask the person to talk slower. So could you talk slower? So in this way, you can use these phrases in your daily conversation. So friends, this is for today, and I hope today's English speaking practice lesson will be really helpful for you. I'll be back again, but before I leave, I would like to remind you once more to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back again with another interesting video for you. Till then, stay safe, love your family, love your parents and love yourself.